Hey everybody, it's Kelly. I have something fun for you today. We're doing a YouTube hop at Cheeky Studio. So we are also giving away a Cheeky Studio prize. Make sure you check out the description of this video because what you're going to need to do is subscribe to my channel and comment on the video, and there'll be a list of all the other people participating as well. So you'll go to each of their channels and do the exact same thing. So the name of our hop today is our favorite things. So I'm doing that with two different ways. I am using some of my favorite Cheeky Studio products, and I'm also scrapbooking about some of my favorite things, which happen to be my stepson and his family. Now, only 2 out of the 3 kids are appearing in these photos, but I talk about the whole family, and they are definitely some of my favorite things. You'll see there that darling photo of my granddaughter. This is on the 4th of July, so it's going to be very patriotic without doing like star papers and that kind of thing. So I am using a paper pad from Die Cuts with a View. It's the Nantucket stack, and that's where the paisley, the plaid, and the striped pattern papers all are coming from. I'm going to take the 3 photos here, and I'm going to back them with this plaid paper, and I'll stagger them a little bit. I'm not going to necessarily make them all straight. Before I decide though where to put that 3rd photo down, I want to get this title down, and I'm going to mix 3 fonts here. I'm going to use that Love Foam Word. That is from the American Crafts Thickers, the Hello Joy Thickers, and I don't know which collection those went with. I don't have that information anymore. And then I'm going to take those red mini alpha stickers from Elle's Studio, and that was from their December documented kit from last year, from 2017. And then lastly, I'm going to use this navy alphabet, and that's the American Crafts Thickers Cherish album in the denim color, and I love that alpha. It's one of my favorite. I have it in both the red color and the denim color. So I'm just trying to get an idea of how, like, where I want to position that photo on the bottom left there, and then where I'm going to make the cut for the right side for this paper. And I bordered that red stripe paper with the paisley paper just to do something a little bit different. I like how you know it's a paisley pattern, but you're only seeing a tiny peek of it. And I know I put a whole piece of paper behind that red stripe paper, but it's a stack, and I've had it for a couple of years, and I haven't used it all up yet. I don't think I will be using it up anytime soon, so I can afford to do that. Plus the papers, because it's a stack, are thinner, so it's nice to have that extra reinforcement of a full-size sheet instead of just a small border behind it. All right, so I'm just getting the Cherish Thickers down. And then what I decide to do, since I own a T-square ruler, and that would make my life a lot easier, I decide to actually pull it out and use it. I don't always remember to do that, but it is nice when I do. And then I decided it was a little too far to the right, so I'm adding that back in there. Or adding it back in straight, changing letters just a little bit there. And then these letters did not pull off from their backer sheet very well. I love the font, but I can never get them off properly. So I'm going to add a little bit of my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive in my fine line bottle there so that I can just put the letters on. And I'm using my little my cutter bee tweezers there to do that. And I'll just hold those down. So now I have kind of the bones of my layout done, and here comes my favorite things. And this is, when I thought about my favorite Cheeky Studio product, this is really some of my absolute favorite product. These are the Midnight Florals ephemera here. And they are the, the die cuts from the Midnight Florals collection. And then I also have the flare badges from that collection as well too. So I'm going to use 2 badges and the florals. And I'm kind of trying to decide here where I want my clusters to be, because that will determine where I put the photo block on this layout. So I'm thinking I want 2 or maybe 3 clusters, but 3 would be hard to get in. I did like that little journaling spot because I want to do just a little bit of journaling on here. But it's kind of white when you look at it compared to everything else. There's a lot of white there. So playing around with that a little bit. I do like the journaling, I do like the cluster with the floral and the flare up in the top left. So just kind of playing around with what I'm going to use. And because I don't have as many of the small florals left here, I need to use some of the larger florals as well. And I think that makes sort of a nice mix here. There are small florals on, that's the journaling spot, that kind of, it's almost sort of like a Polaroid with flowers, I guess. Those have the small flowers on it, so I like the mix of the small and large together there. And when you get these packs of ephemera die cuts, there are so many in there, you guys. It doesn't matter what pack I've had. Tuesday just loads them up, which is awesome because they go a long way. And there's often multiples of a design, or like in this particular case, there's more than one size of the same flower, which I really like having that ability to change those out. So I can have like some smaller, medium, or large and small, that kind of a mix. And then I decided I did want not just the cluster flowers, but I grabbed a leaf cluster and a feather there to get some blue into that cluster there, because it was largely, the flowers are really largely red there, and it just makes it longer. And then I did think about using that white bow. You saw me kind of playing with that. That is also from Cheeky Studio, but I decided not to use it ultimately. So it's really going to be the Midnight Florals, ephemera, and the flare. Okay, so I kind of have the bones of my clusters down. I'm trying to decide where I want that journaling spot to land. And you see I'm gluing really from the bottom up. That's a good way to do it if you're concerned about not remembering the order that everything was or exact placement. Just glue from the, or not, I glue from the, yeah, bottom up, top down. You can do it either way. What I did is, it's really you glue top down. In this particular case, I think I did a little bit of both. But I don't take my pieces off there when I'm concerned about that. Now with that one I wasn't quite as concerned about that cluster. So this is a really fun way to do a red, white, and blue layout without using necessarily all the stars and things that you would think of as more 4th of July in this particular case. So patriotic if you're an American here. But it's a way to do a patriotic layout without being quite so obvious. So I did grab another flare, and I'm going to put that at that top corner. And then I went back to those Amy, or not Amy Tangerine's, American Crafts, the Hello Joy Thickers, and I'm just going to grab these stars. Now, when I thought about doing this, I thought there is no way this is going to work because the flowers are kind of romantic, so are the papers. But once I put them on, I really liked the mix of that more graphic star with the more romantic flowers. It's kind of a cool like mix, juxtaposition or something. I don't know. I just like the way it looks. I didn't think it would work, but at least for my eye, it really worked really, really well. All right, so I'm just adding some ATG adhesive to the back of the flare. So I have one of those in each cluster. So I have the stars, the flare, and then some of the die cut ephemera in each cluster. And then I'm going to think about maybe adding something else in there as well too. Just getting some edges down here. I didn't glue down very well because I like to leave the edges open on the photos, not glued down, so I can tuck things in until I know that I'm done. And you don't have to glue any more than that. The ATG would hold, but I decided to do it. All right, so I'm going to add these stars from Elle Studio. They're the puffy heart stickers, and they release these every so often in different color stories with their monthly kits. I had some navy ones. They're perfect for this. It's a nice little addition because not all the blues match, so adding another one just sort of makes all the not matching blues intentional. Just snugging that up. Guys, don't forget to use the code Kelly10 when you place the Cheeky Studio order because you'll get 10% off your order. There's a still shot and a couple of detail shots, and don't forget to go to the description so you can complete the hop. Bye everybody!